Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Freeze Friday. So let's see what we got done this week and what we can look forward to next week. And before I forget, don't forget to pop on over to Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life and Kristen's channel, and I will have them both linked below. I'm going to leave Shannon's link below because I don't quite know when she will be able to do Freeze Fridays, so I'll just leave them linked. I know her work schedule has changed, so she was not able to get one up last week, and it looks like it might be a little while, but I'm just going to leave it linked there in case. So let's start with some 6x6 fun for this week. I'm really enjoying playing with my 6x6 paper pads, and if you follow my channel, then you know that on Sunday, this past Sunday, I participated in Janet's from RTS Scrapbooking in a massive YouTube hop where it was all about 6x6 papers in all sorts of different ways, and we were celebrating basically Scrapbook Generation, and in particular a class by Allison Davis, which was all about 6x6 paper pads. So this is the layout that I created. There is a video, a full video for this, so I won't spend too much time, but basically all of my little squares here came from my 6x6 paper pads. And now I'm going to give you just a little bit of a sneak peek of something that's going to be on my channel tomorrow, which is based on Christy's 30 Days of Sketches, and it's a little bit of a scrap lift of her, of Crystal, and of Christina, playing again with squares cut in triangles and doing some fun little puzzles. I used some Stampin' Up, some Sassafras, and some Dear Lizzie Daydreamer. So watch for that tomorrow. The layout will be finished today. So I have been playing with my 6x6 papers. This is what I have out of all of those two big bins right through until the end of November. So let's see what more we can get done with that. I'm really enjoying. And the one thing I'm finding with 6x6 paper pads is you can get a lot of mileage, because once you've done a lot of these fun backgrounds or piecing together squares or circles or hexagons or triangles or whatever shape you choose, or stars, you really need very little additional embellishment after a few sequins, Nuvo drops, a couple of flare, maybe some wood veneer to give a little bit of dimension, some stitching, and there it is, it's done. Now, one of the other 30 Days of Sketches, and by the way, if you're not following, please, from Christy's channel, when you're there for her Freeze Friday today, just sort of have a look at the 30 Days of Sketches. There is a video every single day by Christy, Crystal from Pineapple Papers, and Christina Sorge, and I play along on Sundays. And another one of the sketches they did this week reminded me of these two gorgeous stamp sets that I have in my stash from Darkroom Door that I absolutely needed when I saw my friend Sarah Scraps use them beautifully on some projects a few months ago. I think maybe in the spring, maybe even last winter. I can't quite remember, but lo and behold, I messaged Christina, absolutely need those stamps. Got them as an add-on, and look at that. Brand new, not even out of the packaging. So these need to get done and used and out of that packaging and onto a project this week. I'm going to my Christmas card crop this evening and tomorrow, and a lot of what I'm using is a star stamp set and die set, so I think I'm going to bring this along. This could be gorgeous as a border. I could fussy cut, but these need to get used. So goal for next week, in addition to the others, is to use these absolutely must-have stamp sets for me that then, when I never even opened. So there we go for next week. Shame on me. Then the other thing I talked about last week was that very first sort of mini kit or kit that I put together for the freeze in early September, which was way, way back from stuff in my stash from 2011, 2012, 2014, based on the Bo Bunny Weekend Market Collection. And I've got a lot of layouts done with that. I think I must have got 8 or 9 at least layouts done. And as you noticed, the layout that I did last Sunday, oh, wait a minute, Chopin is getting into something there. Let me take care of that. There we go. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, folks. Ah, la la, when you have your little fur kitties on the scrap table. There we go. So last week I said that was it. Last couple of layouts done. And so now I'm going to show you what I have left, what's going into the giveaway bag, and what I might give a very last chance to for November. So the 6x6 pad, very few papers left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's going into the giveaway pile. I think I've done what I can do with that. Just these few papers, but I think somebody with maybe some cardstock and a little bit of inking could get a layout out of this. Oh, see how cute that is? So that's going into the giveaway pile. Then this sticker sheet, I'm going to see if I can get maybe a couple more titles out of it this month, because I did sort of like the way that looked. But if not, now these are definitely going into the giveaway. I don't think I'll be using that. This sticker sheet, the rest of this is going into the giveaway bag. Now, just for shipping purposes, you'll see at the end of November when I go through the entire giveaway, I will be cutting a lot of these sheets down so that I don't have to mail out some 12 by 12s. This is almost done. We'll see if I can get a title or two. Otherwise, this alphabet will also go into the giveaway pile. Now, if I do get a couple of titles more done, I will definitely, before putting it in the giveaway bag, make sure that somebody who receives it can still get a few titles. I won't be sending alphas that are absolutely no use to anybody, for sure. And then the chipboard. And this chipboard, I think, would be fun for anybody doing vintage, doing some heritage photos. So, and again, I'll be punching these out and putting them as loose pieces, but this is also going into the giveaway pile. So there you go. But I'm really happy with what I got done. And if it wasn't for the freeze, I probably would have just hung on to this stash until probably I moved and therefore had to maybe get rid of it. And there's some beautiful papers in here, and I got 8 or 9 layouts done. So yay, spending freeze. And then our focus for, one of our focuses for November was, of course, these chalks, these fun chalks, and to see if we could use them and what we could get done. So I've done very little this week. I didn't really have time to do an awful lot, but I've got a few ideas, a couple of things that I tried out that worked and that didn't work, and which then gave me some springboard ideas to be trying for next week. So the first thing I did, let me just move this over a little bit. The first thing I did was get out these lovely, what are they here? Watercolor stickers from Vicki Boutin. I think these are back from Field Notes, maybe. And to see they're watercolor stickers, and then they're meant to go, obviously, with Vicki's watercolor markers or any other type of watercolor marker or watercolor paint. So I thought I would give the chalks a try and see how that worked. So for coloring, hopefully I'm doing that right and you can see. And it's not bad, actually. It's not bad. So I'm going to try a little bit more. So what I did on this particular flower, I used the pebbles. So I started by, let me open them so that we can see. So I started by using, trying to use this little thing here with the cotton balls on there. And in all honesty, to begin with, it wasn't really laying down an awful lot of color, or at least I didn't feel it was. So then I remembered I had these that came with the Stampin' Up! Chalks. I had these blender pen. Now, my feeling with this is just a regular everyday alcohol blending pen, I think. So, because I don't really know if Stampin' Up! Even makes these anymore. If anybody here actually knows that, maybe you could leave me a comment down below. They used to come in packs of 3. I've had these, I think, for over 10 years. Figured they wouldn't work. Lo and behold, they still work perfectly. But I have a feeling, as I said, if you have the Copic ones or Spectrum Noir or any other kind of blender pen, I have a feeling that might work. So then I used that. I went in here and picked that up, and it's a little bit grainy. So it's certainly not as smooth as watercolor, but it doesn't seem to come off. So it really does seem to be a blender, and it fixes the color. So I used the pale sort of lavender, very pale purple color here, the darker purple to do a little bit of shading, and this sort of brown color in the middle. Now, I will say that when I got to the middle, and for the middle here, the cotton ball worked perfectly. It really, really worked well. And then once I had my color down, I found it was a little bit streaky. So I went back with the cotton ball, and then it did work to give a little bit of shading. So I think I need to work with this a little bit more, but I think it could be fun. I think you could color. So I'm going to try some stamped images next and see how that works with maybe just a brush and actually some water. Now, I don't know whether it would work with water, but I seem to have seen some techniques. I think I saw, I don't know whether it was Nicole Jones or someone else that actually just sort of used some chalk with a little bit of water and did a background. So that gave me an idea for that. And trying this maybe with those thumb applicators as opposed to these. So anyway, I'll work on that maybe next week. Then the next thing I tried was just with the blender, the Tim Holtz blenders, and then I went into the Stampin' Up! Chalks and tried those. And for a background, just as is, with the blender, with the Tim Holtz blenders, not so bad. Very, very, very subtle. The ombre is maybe a little bit difficult to get. It's a little grainy. So I don't know if I added some water or if we blended. Let's see if we tried to blend this a little bit. Oh, yes, there you go. See? Oh, yes. So I guess I would have to try that on a heavier cardstock, because it pills a little bit, but blending with the blender pen does seem to remove the streakiness. Oh, I kind of like that effect. Yeah, let's do some more work. So Kim, there you go, that baby away. You said to me that you had these chalks. I don't know whether you have watercolors, but if you don't have watercolors, I think this could be a fun way of getting a watercolor effect on a background if you have the blender pens that go with it. Then I did some embossing, like I mentioned that I was going to do. This just a regular embossing folder, just a little bit of a leaf, and then I used a blender, obviously the green one. I used just this blender tool, and really the regular embossing folders are sort of not raised enough, and it gets on the background. But I guess it would be a fun kind of resist technique, because we could probably then go in and take this off. Anyway, so this was, I think, a little bit of a fail. So I don't think you can use just the basic blending tool with an embossing folder on only the raised parts, but probably maybe with, I think maybe if we went in with a little cotton ball or a finger blender, you could do some coloring on the background, because then I went in with one of those, and I only have 2 of these very, very deep, the deep embossing folders. Can you see that, how deep that is? And I only have a Cuttlebug. So if anybody still only has a Cuttlebug, what I found is if you do the normal embossing folder sandwich, which is the 2 B plates with the big A plate, it doesn't go through. So I used the A plate, 1 B plate underneath, just the embossing folder, and cranked it through, and it worked perfectly. So this one here, I tried with the blending. I find it's very splotchy. But then here I went with a blending tool, and the blending tool here seems to work quite a bit better on a very raised background. So very early days, just a few little things to see what we can do. But I definitely want to try coloring some stamped images, because I have a feeling that might work quite well and be an alternative to Copics if you don't have any, or even an alternative to watercolors if you don't have any. So let's keep playing with these. I'm going to try a few more backgrounds, blend them out, and see how that works. I'm going to try my Copic blender with these, and I'm going to try some water. So that's what we were up to. That's what I got up to this week. Again, don't forget to go see what my friends were up to this week. And if there is anything you would like to see me try with chalks, or those lovely stamps that I showed, or anything else, please just leave me a comment below. If you're following along with us and trying to do a little bit of a freeze, whatever that means for you, tell me how you're doing. If you've been doing it with us since the beginning, you've got 2 full months done. Let me know how it's going. Talk to you soon, and see you again next Friday. Bye.